Come in. You're okay.
How are you
Good, good. How are you? Yeah, you. Come in.
Us little stragglers. Good morning, Miss Taylor.
Good
How are
morning.
you?
Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning. How are you?
How are you?
Good.
Oh, so it's not us, and so it's funny.
Okay. Are you all ready?
Yeah.
Heck, yeah.
Everybody's got, okay, so the materials for Ignite can be found on our website. You can download the packets. Or you can purchase a book. And we sell these books just with the cost of print, they're $50. If you don't have a book and you want one, you can step out. And Madison has some at the front desk. I'm a big fan of having the material. Because you can reference it forever. Like literally, you could take this class 10 times and you would have your Ignite material. And every time you do something like an open house, you have your checklists and the things that you need to be prepared for that. Okay, so let me just make sure I'm not. Am I unmuted? I am unmuted. And we're live streaming. Perfect. Okay. All right. Let me get my notes up here. Are you guys excited?
Yes.
You are?
Very.
Yay. It'll be good when I find my notes. Okay. So today's Ignite session is actually supposed to be 3 hours. But we're not going to go 3 hours because we have team meeting at 11. And there's some material in this version of Ignite that has changed. So there's going to be a couple of slides that we're going to skip. Keller Williams is writing right now, they're beta testing a new Ignite that will, I don't want to say it'll be better because I kind of don't believe it'll be better. This is a really great Ignite that we teach right now, but it's going to be 5 days for 3 hours a day. And that will be the entire Ignite. So just longer sessions. So we're going to dive in. My name is Tara Smith. Do I know everybody? I think you all should introduce yourselves because there's, 10 of us in here. And part of Ignite is having an accountability partner and actually peer support to ensure that you get through it. So we see that people that have a good group around them or one person that, they meet in the session every day actually have a higher likelihood to pass, or it's not pass or fail, to graduate. Graduating from Ignite looks like you attended 75% of the sessions, so 15 of the 20 sessions, and we will give out certificates for the folks that have graduated, and then also probably celebrate you in a team meeting or something like that. So just a little rite of passage. So Shamari, do you want to start us? You guys just maybe announce your name and how long you've been in the business or what you want to learn from Ignite, whatever you want to share.
Okay, so my name is Shamari Davis and I am new to the business. I just recently did my real estate exam and joined Keller so I'm excited to just get going and to build relationships with other realtors and with clients. So yeah.
Love it. Okay, all right.
My name is Casey Nguyen. I've been in the business for 10 years, actually. I actually just moved here from California. So moving to Lexington, I feel like it's a completely different city and the way to do business here is really different. So I'm excited to learn.
Yes, I imagine that's very different.
It is.
Yeah. All right.
Hello, everybody. My name is Siobhan Hawaii, and I've been licensed since September. It's recently switched brokerages and moved over to this building. So I'm new to Smart. I'm excited to be here.
Yeah, we're excited to have you. All right, lady. Nothing official. You just met last night. Want to introduce yourself and
Hi, I'm Carol Conyers, and I have accomplished nothing yet, but I am going to.
you're here.
That's right. I came to the intro session last night and decided I wanted to start training today. It's
Yeah,
nice to meet
awesome.
you all.
Better career night, and here we go. Yeah. All right.
I'm Renee, joined in October, I tested in October. I did math, it's amazing, so I can only imagine.
Yes. Renee's your turn.
Hey, I'm Chris Patel. I got my license like a couple of months back, and I joined in Keller Williams on the October or something, and I'm looking forward to get my business going on in Keller Williams. Thank you.
We're glad you're here.
Thank you.
All right, Tammy Pruitt, you should be teaching this class.
Oh, no, absolutely not, because I did everything wrong.
Perfect.
Tammy Pruitt, I've been in the business for 15 years and I've done everything wrong. I've never ran like a business, but I've maintained top producer for several years and just got out. I've really worked it hard for the last 6 years, so this is to ignite my business. Joined a month ago and I'm loving every moment of it. One question before I start.
Yeah.
75% of the classes we have to attend or we have to attend live.
I think if you're online
As
or
long
if
as
you
you're-
attend them, it's okay. Yeah.
Perfect.
Okay.
Hi, my name's Carson Ayers. I got my license in August. And I've been trying to navigate and figure it out for the last few months, but I'm excited to get some proper training and just kind of a new perspective. So.
Okay. Thanks for coming. Yeah.
thanks for having me.
My name's Tony Stone and I came to Career Night back in October, and so I'm still in the process. It's kind of a career change, career move for me. But I'm excited about it and looking forward to the learning and taking that test very soon.
What did you do before?
Pardon me?
What did you do before?
I'm in the cleaning business. Commercial cleaning business, for that as in healthcare.
When are you testing, Tony?
My goal is March the 2nd.
Okay, let's do it. Get in here before spring season.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Let's go.
Okay, you wanna go, Deandra?
I'm Deandra Sailors, I'm managing broker here at the Lexington office. Got my license in, well, I'll make sure, 16 years ago. And then I got my broker's license at the end of 24. I'm licensed here in Tennessee, haven't really done anything in Tennessee because kind of did it because my daughter's there going to university and just wanted to get out and meet people and get something going there. But I came across these wonderful people and really wanted to be part of a team. I've worked really independently like you can when you're self-employed and you start in real estate, kind of get off on your own. So I feel great to be here. This is great people and I can learn and meet so many wonderful agents and kind of pass on my experience.
I'm Tara. I got licensed back in September, but I kind of took a break because I didn't know what I wanted to do. But I joined Keller Williams last week. And so, yeah, I'm just excited to get started.
Yeah, and Kara also owns a
Massage
massage business, so
I've
she's
been
an
doing that
entrepreneur.
for 11 years now.
Yeah.
Oh, you'll get a lot of
Right? Love you. Yeah, we love you.
stress relief.
All right. Jackie?
I'm Jackie Gillespie and I'm the market center administrator here. Not realtor, not licensed. I'm just here to observe a little bit and I'll be teaching tomorrow as well.
Hello, my name is Becky. I'm from agent ES to hold the
February 2nd, right? And March 3rd, 2nd? There you go. You're gonna have a 30-day start to get ahead of him. He's coming fast though. Yeah, well, thank you guys for being here. My name's Tara Smith. I am the franchise owner for this location. My husband and I own 4 Keller Williams franchises. One is here. We live 5 minutes from here, so this is home. We have an office in Cincinnati, Ohio, Louisville, and Southern Indiana. And between the 4, just over 500 agents. And I actually have known Tammy Pruitt because we grew up well, I was growing up, I don't know if you were, but I grew
That
up,
was midlife.
we grew up in another company together. And I came to Keller Williams in the end of 2013 because I had been winging it for the first like 7 years of my career. And I had never set goals, I hadn't built a database, and I was really burnout. Like I had hit an entrepreneurial ceiling. And like people were calling me, asking me to buy and sell houses, and I was just so aggravated that they would call me. Which is a good sign of burnout. It was like, why are you people calling me? Not a good sign. And so what I knew needed to happen was my business was growing, because your business, when you take great care of people, you're gonna generate referrals. So my business was kind of snowballing and I didn't have any more capacity to manage it. So I came into Keller Williams and I read the Millionaire Real Estate Agent book. And it was basically about how you can build and scale a business, but work less. And I had 4 little boys at home. That's my oldest son, by the way, in the kitchen. He is our title rep. But it was just out of control. So I came to Keller Williams, and here's the interesting thing. My first year, my business doubled and I didn't work evenings and weekends. So like, it worked. I just did what they told me to do. The other thing is, I was a stay-at-home mom and I didn't graduate from college. I dropped out of college. So you guys are going to be taught training today from really somebody with no accreditation other than I've been in the industry almost 20 years. But I came into Keller Williams and, we're a collaborative culture and everybody's on a growth journey. So after about a month, they said, hey, when are you going to teach your first class? And I was like, I'm not a teacher. And they were like, oh yeah, but you'll be fine. We have all the material. This is written by university level instructors. And you just need to follow the material and you can teach. And what would you want to teach? And I said, I guess I'll teach profit share because that's something I'm passionate about. So I got up in front of the room and there were 3 or 4 people and I was like scared out of my mind. That's just to show you guys the growth that can happen. It's been 10 years. Keller Williams has a training path. So if you are passionate about training and you want to get on the training path, you can go to 2 courses that teach you how to present this information. And so I've done that. I got my Keller Williams first level is approved trainer, or I can't remember, certified trainer, approved trainer, and then you audition for what's considered master faculty. So I'm one of the less than 50 people that are master faculty in our company. Not to put pressure on, but my goal is that you guys have a really great class and we follow the content, because this content is written to get you deals. And we can hang out here for 20 sessions, but the ultimate reality is we need to get you in production. Okay. So part of getting in production is you also have to do the work. So we're going to talk about the work and then you've got to do the work. And so the structure of this is basically by the book, it's 4 hours a day. So you guys are going to have an hour to an hour and a half of content that you can attend in person or watch online. But technically, you're also supposed to do about 2 hours of activities on your own. So I'm gonna tell you what that looks like. And Jackie's teaching tomorrow, and she's gonna go through the daily success system with you. That's in your content, right? But I want to make sure you guys know the daily success system. I don't think it takes 2 hours personally, but what you're to do daily is you're to role play a script. So every session will end with a role play, and that will be your conversation dialogue for that day's activities. Okay, so today we're going to do forward. If you leave the room today and start making calls, you would use the exact same script we practice in the room. Your goal is to have 10 conversations a day with people. So either you're calling for people currently in your ideally your database. So people in your cell phone, in your SOI, people maybe they're social media friends, and you message them and say, hey, I just want to call you and share something about my business. But your goal is to have 10 conversations a day. And then follow up those conversations with 10 handwritten notes. Feeling a little Brian Buffini, aren't we?
Yep.
10 handwritten notes, so you're gonna thank them for their time in the conversation, and you're gonna stick 10 note cards in the mail. So if we're doing this by the book, you would actually be sending out about 200 note cards by the end of Ignite. Okay? And then we have what's called the 10-5-1 social media engagement, which we're gonna teach you, but it's 10 likes, 5 comments, and 1 extra activity that you're doing on social media every day. The reason it's set up that way is when you like 10 different people's posts a day, guess what happens to your feed? 10 different people start to see what you post. There's algorithms in social media. So if we don't engage with people, they actually don't even see what you're posting. So this is gonna set your social up to get the highest visibility with new people, right? And then you're gonna have enrichments, and enrichment examples are things like reading a part of the Millionaire Real Estate Agent book. I would also say, listening to the podcast would be an enrichment. Adding more people to your database, watching a market update with Keller Williams on YouTube, creating social media posts, previewing houses, taking a course at the MLS is an enrichment, visiting and holding open houses are enrichments, studying the local language of real estate, meeting an established agent for an interview to get advice, and then get on to Connect in your command dashboard if you have it. Some of you guys will have it, some of you won't. But essentially, it's just studying additional real estate resources and then leveling up your lead generation, which is a training in Connect called Taking No Sailing. So the goal of this is that we're just systematically getting you into activities so that at the end of this, you kind of have built a habit. So then you'll just be like, every day, I got to talk to people today. And you're going to find business as a result of those conversations. So I just want to make sure you guys know part of this is the class, and part of it is you've got activities to do. So when you come into your sessions, the teacher should be asking you how your success plan went and what happened as a result of it. Okay? So we're going to do learning and activity. All right, you guys ready to get going? I always like to say this because people ask about Ignite. Ignite is not for new agents, and we have a really diverse group in this room. It's for new to the business. It's for new to Keller Williams. It's for agents in the market that want to boost their business, and also for people that are under cap. So I always say, if you're not yet capping in your business, you should be in Ignite every time it's taught, because there's probably something we can learn from it. All right, so let's take a look at this. This is just our intro. We already introduced ourselves. So we talked about our agenda. I'm gonna keep going. So this is a sample of what the agenda looks like. It's not, I don't have dates on here that you guys can see. We're basically Monday through Friday, hour to 2 hours of content, which is gonna come straight out of your book. And then you have your own activities that you're gonna do through your success system. Okay? All right. So this course, as an overview, is working to achieve 4 things. And it's separated into 4 segments, essentially. So the first one is, the first 4 days of this is gonna teach you how to be the real estate expert of choice. What do you think feeling like a real estate expert of choice does for you?
Elevate your business.
It'll elevate your business.
It's your confidence.
It's that right there. It's gonna boost your confidence. So having confidence in this industry is really important, because if you don't believe in you and what you're selling, the people you're talking to probably won't either. So part of this whole first section is to give you the confidence to have validity and be able to speak to that in the local market. Days 5 through 9 is lead generation. So we're going to go through all kinds of ways to get leads. And you guys know, you hear me say this all the time. There's 1,000 ways to get business. Our problem is there's 1,000 ways and we don't know what to focus on. And then we're going to talk about lead follow-up. 80% of business written happens as a result of lead follow-up. So your ability to have a system or a systematic approach to that is really key. And then we're gonna talk about the transaction. How do you navigate the transaction in a way that you generate more referrals and more business? So that's kind of the key of this. By the end of this, you're gonna be able to, you will have a robust value proposition for your business. You'll have a lead generation system that's gonna generate all of the business that you need for your year, your lead follow-up, and then all of the parts of that process. So the goal is to get you multiple appointments through this process so that we can get you into, ideally, guys, we'd love for you to have something under contract in the first 30 days of Ignite, okay? And this program generates 16 transactions your first year in the industry. So if you just do the work, you're gonna generate a pipeline and referrals that'll feed you all year, okay? So there's all the parts of that. This is on page, I'm trying to keep up with your book and my book. Not on a page yet, so. But these are all the parts, and we're in Spark Your Career. This is a very foundational piece of Ignite. And today we're gonna talk a little bit about culture, how the culture shows up for you, how top producers grow personally, some of our resources, and then you're gonna set your own goals and have a vision for your year ahead, okay? So some of this today is gonna be foundational, but I think you guys will get a lot out of it. So the thing about Ignite, you've heard me say this like 20 times, it is a foundational level training, but the goal of it is to help you think in a new way, right? It's about having a success mindset that does not have doubt. So think about that. What if you didn't doubt your success? Or what if you didn't doubt your ability to be successful, right? So we're gonna talk about unlimiting your mindset. We're gonna talk about the 6 personal perspectives, which is a key piece that successful people implement into their life. We're gonna talk about culture, and all of the rest of that. So somebody read this for me. Who wants to read this off the slide?
Anyone can do it, not everyone will you.
Anyone can do it, not everyone will you? What does that mean? What do you think? Why do you think Gary said that?
Because you have to work it. You posted something on social media yesterday that was so very clear. I mean, you can.
Oh,
You-
Rob's post. He was like, get ready to work and have a job and show up to your business every day. And you're probably gonna work harder in the beginning to get your foundation in place. Yeah, it's not easy.
No.
It's not entrepreneurial, right?
So if you want to put forth the effort, you can. If you don't. Not everyone.
That's right. That's right. What Gary says is real estate is a wonderful business, one where you can actually make a lot of money and you can run a successful enterprise through real estate. You can achieve your biggest and wildest dreams, but the reality is not everyone will do it. So our goal is to help you see that pathway exists for you through Ignite. So I mentioned the 6 personal perspectives. Has anybody seen these before? Have you seen them?
Not all of it.
Not all of it, yeah. So we used to start every single Keller Williams training, like worldwide, with these perspectives. There was like 10 minutes before every training where we talked about these. And so the 6 personal perspectives, it's the way that successful people think and approach problems or challenges. It's all about the mindset of success. And these came from Gary. Gary researched a lot of successful people in various fields and kind of came up with the question, what differentiates those who achieve at the highest level from those who don't accomplish as much? So why do we have 25 people in the room and 1 or 2 of you will go to the top of the charts and the rest of us will not? And these are the reasons that they researched and believe are the foundational reasons why some people succeed at a really high level and others don't. And if I'm being really honest with you, these 6 have had the most transformational impact on my life. Like if somebody asked me what Keller Williams model or tool I would probably name something in the 6 personal perspectives. So we're gonna go through them today because it's really foundational. And they are in order of importance. Okay, so the first one is committing to self-mastery. Okay, so before we can learn anything else or master a topic, we have to start with ourselves. And so what self-mastery is it's knowing your goals. It's knowing your strengths and your weaknesses, because the reality is we're not all good at everything, and that's okay, right? And it's knowing how to work with your strengths and your weaknesses to master the necessary knowledge, skills, and habits to reach your goals. I'm gonna say habits again, right? Because ultimately, you win or lose the game of real estate by winning or losing with this body. It's like 90% of it is in your mind, right? Any of us can go sell a house today. So the question I would ask you is, are you committed to self-mastery? And that's really digging in and doing the self-work of knowing where you have gaps, right? Because if we know where the gaps are, we can go do the work to compensate for that gap, right? Don't ever be afraid to say this in response to a question. So I'll just give you permission here. If somebody asks you a question and you don't know the answer, don't be afraid to say, that's a really great question. I think I know the answer, but let me just bounce that off my broker or someone else before I give it to you. So my first probably 5 years in the industry, I didn't know the answer to any questions. Like literally somebody asked me a question, I'd go, I think I know the answer, but let me just verify before I respond. And I actually just didn't know. So I would go and ask somebody and they would say, here's the answer. And I would go, actually, here's the best answer to that. It's not a weakness to just admit that you don't know the answer to everything. It's okay. And I still do this today. Like people will ask me, sometimes I know the answer and I don't want to answer the question. Because if I answer the question, then I'm always going to answer that question. And sometimes I want to bounce it off somebody else to just make sure that I'm seeing that clearly. So I don't see that as weakness. I see that as self-mastery, right? Okay. So the next one is committing to the 80-20 principle. The 80-20 principle, this is also called the Pareto principle. And what that does is it tells us that 20% of your actions every day generate 80% of your results. And likewise, 80% of your actions only generate 20% of your results. So if we're going to be strategic, which way do we want to focus this? Yeah, the 20-80. If you could do less and accomplish more, that's a more strategic approach to getting the job done, right? It's about maximizing your results and minimizing your time output. And you guys, I teach time blocking. I think I shared this in a team meeting a week or two ago. You can work less than 3 hours a day and earn $200,000 a year in this industry. Less than 3 hours a day. So why do we not do that? Why do you think agents don't do that? Discipline, busy work, which is they're doing the 80%. They're doing things that don't generate business, but keeps them busy. And so they look up and they don't have any business, right? Or that somebody said they're scared. So we call the 20% your big rocks. So you'll hear that a lot. What are your big rocks? And in the One Thing book, they call that your dollar producing activities. So what would you guys say? Live question. What are the big rocks or the dollar producing activities of a real estate agent? Lead generation. Lead follow-up.
Appointments.
Going on appointments. There's actually 2 more. There's 5 of these.
Writing contracts.
Negotiating contracts, yep. It's how we're gonna end every session of Ignite. What did I tell you we would do every session at the end of Ignite?
Role
Before-
play.
Scripts and role play. So those are the 5 key parts of your job. Why scripts and role play are in there? There's a lot of reasons why. But if you get an opportunity to stand in front of a buyer or seller and you haven't practiced your scripts, you're literally rolling a dice, and in this market, you're gambling $10,000. So having the dialogues practice and understanding how to get people to a desired outcome, either an appointment, a signed agreement, or we're going live on the market, you wanna have those dialogues kind of internalized so that you're not practicing on the first person you walk in front of, right? So scripts and dialogues are critical. We typically recommend you do those right before you get in on calls or even in front of a presentation so that you're warmed up and you're ready to convert. Okay, so that is, those 5 things are your dollar producing activities. So live question, how many of you guys are doing those every day? Okay, so that's important. 4 of the 5 you can time block for. We can't time block for negotiating contracts because that comes when we get an offer. But the other 4, you can literally set aside a little bit of time every day to work on those things. And those are the highest and best use of your time. Highest and best use of your time. So everything else is what? Yeah, I'll say it again. What is everything else we're doing? Are you guys doing other things during the day? On real estate? It's the 80%. The everything else but those 5 is in your 80%. So by focusing on that, you're gonna get the lowest tier results. So if I spend an hour making a flyer for an open house, that's an 80% activity. Well, you can get that for free with Scott Leroy anyway. But the point is, I think sometimes as agents, we like to feel busy. So we look for things to do that keeps us out of the dollar producing activities. Because they actually require discipline and commitment to do them. It's not easy to sit down and pick up the phone every day, right? Did you get them all? Do you guys need me to repeat the 5? Okay,
Please.
so lead generation, lead follow-up, going on appointments, scripts and role play. Those 4 you can time block, and then the last one is negotiating contracts. And if that's what you focus on every day, you could build as big of a business as you can imagine. And yeah, most agents don't do any of the 5. I don't know what we do, but we're doing other things, right? Okay, so next one is moving from E to P. So I had a leadership huddle with our team today, and we literally, this is what we talked about. Moving from E to P, moving from entrepreneurial to purposeful. So anybody in here just kind of feel like you can pick anything up? You're pretty good at everything. Generally speaking, I felt that way. Like I played a lot of different sports. I wasn't exceptional at anything. I coasted through school. I got all A's and B's, right? Like just kind of like just naturally competent in thing. And so every single one of us has a natural ceiling of achievement. And that is what comes entrepreneurially. You can see here on the left, that's where most people live, by the way, their entire life. They just do what comes naturally, even if they don't like where they're at. Why do 85% of people not like the career they're in? Because they're just doing what's natural. They're not willing to get uncomfortable, to do something different. And so you can see that you do what you can do, and then you hit a ceiling and you experience disappointment. I see this in sales all the time. I see agents hit a ceiling, ride that ceiling. They never change what they're doing. They burn out and then they crash. That's resignation. And then they figure out something new. They have a new idea. We call that greener pastures, a new system. Sometimes they move brokerages. They get energized and they shoot up again entrepreneurially, and they hit the ceiling. And then guess what happens? They crash again. And this can go on for a lifetime. And it does for many people. So with a purposeful approach, you're gonna start with what comes naturally to you. And I always say, build your business on what you enjoy, like know your strengths, right? But then you're gonna focus, you're gonna use models and systems, which is kind of the foundation of this whole course. You're gonna use models and systems. When you get to that natural feeling of achievement, rather than stop, you're gonna break through it. And so we break through ceilings of achievement typically through model systems or people. Model systems or people. If every $5 million producer in this market would go hire a great executive assistant, like when they hit 5, they would double their business in 12 months. So why do they not do it? I can't meet with them fast, by the way. And I also can't push people past their own mindset.
I need fear.
Fear, yeah, that's a big risk. You're paying someone to do a part of your job when you think, a lot of them think they can do it better, they can't. But they also, they don't bet on themselves. So, betting on yourself, everybody's in here because you bet on yourself. Betting on yourself is the best bet you can make because you control the outcome. You control the outcome. So, we talk about E to P, and this is what my notes say. Many people who left a salaried job for a career in real estate say they hit a ceiling in how far they were promoted or being paid in the job. So people were in a job, they hit a ceiling and said, I can't get past that, so I'm gonna go get my real estate license and have unlimited earning potential. So that's an example of, we're not just gonna sit stuck, we're gonna find a new way, right? Okay, so that's E to P. The next one is being learning based, the foundation of your action plan. You guys are here, so you're learning based, so I love that. There's 2 ways we can learn. Or we can know for knowing's sake, and we can know for doing's sake. So there's a segment of you guys in this room that will take this class, you'll get all the information for knowing's sake, but you won't actually go do anything with it. And I'm telling you this, I've done it myself many times. I've got lots of manuals, great training, I just wasn't really willing to do the work. But being ignorance-based and learning is saying, I know what I know, and I'm gonna ignore everything else. And being learning-based is I know what I know, and I also know that there's always more to know and learn. Learning and growth never stops. Doesn't matter what level you're at, and you can see here, Gary is very big, our company is very big on self-actualization. So achieving your highest potential. And you can see there that productivity happens on the outside, but that's a result of the internal work. He calls it enlightenment, but it's you doing the internal work. And you'll hear this. We say this a lot. Your business grows to the extent that you do. So you can't break through those ceilings of achievement if you don't grow and learn new things that give you the confidence to go act on them. Is this helpful? I feel like I'm talking a lot. I've had this a little bit internalized. You guys, this stuff has changed my life, like literally changed my life. In so many ways. So somebody read this quote by Albert Einstein.
I am neither especially clever nor especially gifted. I'm only very, very curious.
Okay, Albert Einstein said that. What do you all think? He's pretty smart, right? Pretty smart guy. He didn't see himself as gifted or smart. He just saw himself as always learning. So stay in curiosity and be eager to learn more. So number 5 is removing your limiting beliefs. I feel like I just need to get up and shake everybody in the room. This is the killer. This is the death nail. Okay, how many of you guys think you have limiting beliefs? Yeah, Yeah, that's the inside voice. So when I tell you you can go sell a house today and you say, I can't do that. That's your limiting belief. Anything that limits what's possible for you is a limiting belief. And I'm just gonna challenge you to start listening for them. Because the reality is they're happening in our mind all the time. We're not even conscious of it most times. Most of the time, you're in a talk track with yourself. And for many of us, it's not elevating you, it's pulling you down. Okay, and you can actually reprogram your talk track, that's possible, but it takes a lot of, it takes literally stopping the thought and planting a new one there. But you can unlimit your thinking, so successful people remove limiting beliefs. So limiting beliefs is, I don't have enough time, I can't be successful in this market, I can't devote enough time to lead generation. I hear new agents say, there's a lot of competition, how am I gonna get business? There's 3,500, I mean, there's a million reasons. Unlimiting thinking unlimits your success, and the way we teach to do this, and if I were teaching this class, these 6 personal perspectives, it's actually like a 6-hour course. So we're going through this very quickly. But the way, I'll say this, first thing is, you cannot control the first thought you have. You cannot control it. The first thought you have is a result of typically childhood conditioning and training. So you're probably hearing somebody else's voice tell you what's possible that you now believe to be true for you. Does that make sense? So you can't control that thought, but you can acknowledge you had the thought and you can create a new reality for yourself. So when you have the thought, you stop and go, wait a minute, I do have enough time for training. You guys, I tell myself almost every day, first I have the thought, I don't have enough time to get all the things done I need to get done. This is me. I say this. And then I say, there's more than enough time to get done all of the things that are most important. So I just tell myself something different. And you know what generally happens? I get done the things that are most important, right? So this is like a real key thing. You gotta clear your mind of limiting beliefs. It's kind of like self-sabotage. We sabotage ourselves, right? Okay, so I think we have an activity here. You guys have an activity? I haven't missed any activities yet, right? So we should have an activity. And it's on page 1.8. And I am gonna let you do this activity, because this is a big one. So what I want you to do, we're gonna take 3 or 4 minutes here. And I want you to read the 3 limiting beliefs below, 3 or 4, and add a couple more of your own. And then I want you to rewrite each of those sentences in a way that it unlimits what's possible. Right? So I'm gonna do the first one with you. I have to be an expert and know everything before I can begin my business. I'm not valid yet. That's a limiting belief. How would we unlimit that? What do you think, Shamari?
Maybe like I can start building clientele now, so when I get my business started, I'll be.
More
ahead.
valid?
Yeah,
Yeah,
more valid.
you can build clientele now. What were you gonna say, Tammy? Anything?
My knowledge is great, but none of us know everything, so we refer, we always have to.
Yeah.
We have a friend behind us, a tutor behind us, we ask questions and we always find the answers.
And you can just tell yourself that there's more than enough resources and people to find the answer to any question that you have. Right, so that's example 1. I want you guys to go through 2, 3, and 4, write your own 5 and 6. This is your sheet, so be real with yourself. And let's work on unlimiting those thoughts. Got another minute or so. So who wants to share? Anybody want to share like one of your limiting beliefs and how you're gonna reprogram that?
I just actually wrote it, so it's
Okay,
fresh.
fresh.
For me, a limiting belief is that I can't retain the important information, the things that I learned, things that I need to implement. And so I think to reprogram that is that I need to learn to focus on the one thing,
Yeah,
that important thing, one thing at a time, instead of trying to,
do all the things.
right,
Yeah,
compartmentalize it.
yeah, that's really good. That made me think of in the One Thing book, you know, that there's a book that Jay Papasan and Gary Keller wrote called The One Thing. And they talk about the focusing question. And the focusing question is, what's the one thing such by doing it, everything else gets easier or unnecessary? So that is a really great way. If you got a million things going on and your mind is spiraling all over, just ask yourself, what's the one thing? And I'll say this, for me, a lot of times, it's the thing that's causing me the most stress. Do you know what I mean? Like there's something hanging over my head that I know if I could just knock that out, I could think clearly. So sometimes it's just the thing that's causing chaos in your brain. And I gotta get this done so I can focus on it. You know what I mean? Like it could literally be, I gotta go drop my dry cleaning, but I can't focus until I go do that because, you know what I mean? Yeah.
I have a big framed picture that has perspective written on it in a million different ways. Because I'm big about perspective, change your perspective.
Yeah.
But look at it from a different angle.
Yeah.
So this is kind of like what you're talking about, is change your
Yeah,
perspective.
change your perspective. How many of you guys got into the industry to help other people? Okay.
That's not my goal.
But I mean, some people it is, and some people, but most people either had an experience or they saw an opportunity to help lots of people. So the thing that's happening when you are in your own way, when you let your limiting beliefs hold you back, your ego is keeping you from serving people. And that's just a hard reality. So like, you will hear me from time to time go, you need to get out of your own way. You need to get out of your own way because how you feel, and I wrote that this is in here, in order to achieve your success, you must release any fear of failure, of rejection, and of success. Fear of failure, of rejection, and not being successful. So if you're thinking more about how people see you or being right, that's getting in the way of the ultimate goal for most of us, which is serving people. That makes sense? So the sooner you get out of your head and you change your internal dialogue, the more you'll have the ability to find the success that you want. The next one is being accountable. Man, I did live this one. If you haven't listened to it, I have a podcast I shot in like 2019. It's in my email signature. It's called Your Rock Bottom Story, My Rock Bottom Story. Mine, not yours. My Rock Bottom Story. And part of that was I got divorced in 2014. And it was really hard. It was really, really challenging. It's what I felt I needed to do to move my life forward. But it required a lot of wrecking. And here's what happened. I got divorced. I didn't even really know if that was the right thing. It was just turmoil. And I lived on the left side of this column, which is victim. I lost a lot of relationships. I lost my job. There was a lot of stuff going on. So I lived in what we would call victim. Not showing it, but that's victim, and this is I'm accountable. And so when you're in victim, you're not seeking reality. You're showing up as ignorant. You're not asking questions. You are in denial. You're like, that's not the way it is. You're fighting the reality of it. You're blaming other people. You're projecting. There's personal excuses, like it's not my job. I was never given a chance. Just yucky language, right? And then 5 down here, you see, you're just waiting and hoping, kind of like stop, hoping that something changes. The thing that I hear over there is, if it's meant to be, it'll be. There's a language that I hear people use that is a victim language often. And so what happened in my life was I stayed stuck for 3 years. And if you listen to the podcast, you'll hear me talk about living in victim. And all the people around me were also in that reality. Like I hung out with single, divorced moms. We drank a lot of alcohol. We talked about our ex-husbands, and we just burned time. And after a couple of years of that, I was kind of tired of myself. Have anybody ever been there? Or I don't like where I'm at. I'm tired of being stuck. And I was in a training, Quantum Leap, and the thing in the training they said is we become the sum of the 5 people we surround ourselves with. And at that time, everybody I surrounded myself with was in the same kind of pit that I was in. There wasn't anybody ahead of us pulling us forward. So I went on a mission to find people that were living the life that I wanted. And I literally emailed 5 people that I respected from a distance. And I said, hey, this year, this was 2017, this year I'm going to change my reality and I need better people in my world. And to me, it sounded like this. Will you be my friend? Yes or no? It was kind of like, can I hang out with you if there's ever an opportunity, any space that you have that I can just be with you to learn from you. Some of them just said, hey, that's cool. Good luck. And some of them said, anything I can do to support you. And some of them picked up the phone and called me. And they're in my circle today. So that was for me the first step of getting out of victim into over here. And over here sounds like this. You're seeking reality. Like what's actually going on here? This isn't good and I need to know how to fix it. You're acknowledging it. You're going, okay, I can see this. You're owning it. If it's gonna happen, it's up to me. I have to make the change. And you're asking the questions, what do I want? What do I want? You're not waiting on anybody else. You're saying, what do I want? So you can determine what those solutions are. What are your options? How do I get there? What can I do? And then you get into action. Like, let's go do this. That's how accountable people show up. Even when they take ownership of everything. Extreme ownership. There's a book called Extreme Ownership. They take ownership of everything in their life. And until, this is important and it's not on the slide. Until you take ownership of your life, whatever it is, good or bad, you cannot change it. You are powerless in that side of this graph. In this side, you take ownership and you can actually elicit change. It's the only way we can do it. Okay? So I will encourage you all to start to also think about, is your language the language of a victim, where you're just kind of being tossed in the wind, or somebody who's accountable? All right, somebody read this quote for me.
Happiness is not an individual sport.
Happiness is not an individual sport, and this is from a book written by Sean Anker. I think the book is called The Happiness Project. I thought it was in my notes and it's not.
This is the happiness advantage.
Happiness Advantage. Okay, so here's what I want you guys to write down. Your business success is not an individual sport because no one succeeds alone. No one succeeds alone. And so the quote, you know, Sean Aker pioneered the quote. He did research that revealed happy humans are more productive, creative, and better at problem solving, and even healthier and less stressed. Would you guys agree that these outcomes lead to better business success then?
Did you say that quote again that you said about individual?
Yes. Okay. Happy humans, I don't know if that's the one. Happy humans are more productive, creative, better at problem solving, and even healthier and less stressed. Happy humans.
Because wrong for that.
No one succeeds alone. Gary said that our business is not an individual sport. No one succeeds alone. Yes, that's why we have, that's why we have these 4 walls. That's why we have a collaborative community. There are lots of virtual business models, and there are a lot of agents that struggle feeling like they're out on an island. We can learn more together than we can on our own, right? What it says in my book is embrace being accountable, find a mentor, a coach, or a partner to help you be accountable and happy. So when you guys attend Bold, we do Bold about once a year. There is the Bold Walls, the Bold Truths. And the number 1 Bold Truth, anybody know what it is? We teach it. It's kind of new though. Happiness is a choice. Happiness is a choice. So we can all probably agree that at any given time, our circumstances can create discomfort, right? And we can still choose joy and happiness in the middle of that. Some of that is your own actions. I'm going to give you an example. I had a really stressful year last year. We had a lot happen in our personal life and then some business stuff. And as the year was ending, I wanted to close that chapter of the book. And I was very excited about 2026. And it was literally like 1126, clean slate. Like I just felt like a fresh start. I let it all go, right? And I still did some things intentionally to ensure that I stay in my highest and best state of mind. So I get up every day and I spend time in reflection. So whatever that looks like for you, whether it's reading, meditating, praying, listening to something, there's just good best practices there. But here's a little trick I read about and I'm practicing. Bo is my husband and we're running a lot. And I read online that if you kiss somebody for 6 seconds or hug them for 20 seconds or more, it actually releases, what is it? Oxytocin? Not oxytocin. Dopamine. It releases a feel-good energy. It releases chemicals in your body. So I went to my husband because I see him and we'll kiss running in and out or a quick hug or whatever. And I said, listen, here's what I need from you.
Or dopamine.
I need drugs.
Watch out, strangers, for me.
I need some drugs. And it's gonna look like a 20-second hug every day.
It's working now.
It's going great. And also, sometimes he wants to give me the hug and I'm like, get off me, I got places to go. That's usually how it is in my house. But it's interesting because, it's even more impactful because when I pause and we do that, it's just me choosing, all that is in my mind is me choosing happiness, whether it's a release of a chemical, or just the time to say, we're gonna be intentional at this thing. So you guys have choice in your happiness. And it could be, there's a million ways to create it. Gosh, I can drive over to the ice cream shop and order an ice cream sundae that is exactly what I ate as a child. It's like almost emotional to tell you. Do you guys know what I'm talking about? We have the things that create the things, right? We have memories or experiences that create the warm emotions. So find those and just create it when you need it. Right? Create happiness for yourself.
And you may need to create food.
You do. Yeah.
I'm not gonna go around hugging strangers.
And you don't have to, like, I think it's, yeah, and I think if you really take the time to get to know yourself, which is hopefully you guys just observed. We spent half of class talking about you knowing yourself, right? 6 personal perspectives are about you. But when we really slow down and take the time to know who we are, actually you'll figure this out. Like I know how to, I tell people, do you guys feel like I have a lot of energy? Yeah, and I go 24/7. Like I woke up today really tired. But I can be tired and also have a lot of energy. Those two can work together. I figured out how to give myself unlimited energy. I tell people I have unlimited energy. Because I figured out my own mechanisms to create happiness. And it's harder for me in the winter because I spend a lot of time outside in the summer. That's one major way I refuel. Like I have my bare feet on the ground as much as possible. Do a lot of grounding. But I just also like to be in nature. It energizes me. So we all have our things. We just gotta slow down enough to figure out. I take a bath every single night. 365 days a year, I take a bath. It's like a ritual for me. Anybody else bathers? See, most people don't bathe because we're in a hurry. And it's kind of like the thing I do that lets my body relax, right? And I have a copper tub. They're not inexpensive, but I know that has healing properties. So I get in my bath every day and it's kind of like self-medicate.
It was worth the expense.
It's a great investment.
There you go.
Yeah.
If
So-
there's some positive sentence while you just take a shower, that makes it more peaceful.
Take a shower and do a positive.
No, positive affirmation while you take
Yeah.
a shower.
Yeah. Sometimes I have to take a shower because I am in a hurry, but I also find gratitude in that. Yeah. So happiness is not an individual sport and it's a choice. Okay, we're gonna do some quick ahas before we go into the next segment. So this is just a space. When we say ahas represent agents helping agents. That's what that stands for. Agents helping agents. And when you share your observations or your ahas out loud, it actually further strengthens the learning moment. That's why in team meeting, I'm always like, somebody share, because if you say it, it kind of like locks it in. Okay. So I want a couple of you guys to just share your ahas, and then we'll move into our next section. So what are your observations so far?
I've conquered the happiness. I'm like you. I take my baths. I'm at the lake and I love the outdoors. That's my biggest problem is I have too much fun.
You have too much happiness?
I enjoy life too much. I don't focus on business like I should. I just wait for the calls to come. So if I was intentional, I can't imagine the success that I truly would have.
Yeah.
So now I'm gonna find balance.
Find out. Yes.
I want to add to that. So have you ever, for your question for you, have you ever about to pack up for vacation, the day you leave, or you're about to get on a plane to get business?
Always, it
called-
happens every
something
single
called-
time.
Yeah.
Almost. It's a great way to get
So
business.
let's go back to happiness. When you're happy, things just happen.
Thank you. You're very true.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's interesting.
Yeah.
Yes, Renee.
So I have one, I'm gonna try not to cry. So I have this type of disability and it's really hard. And I've been being the victim instead of being accountable. And when you said I can keep showing happiness in spite of circumstances. Like I read a bunch of these and I'm really stuck in victim mode. And I can do these accountable things, and I've just gone down and by reading this, it's like, I don't have to be so.
Well, you were given the gift of being the person. Right, that's the other part. Yeah. You made me cry.
Well, Renee, I wanna say you're not alone. As I sit here and listen, I find myself on the left side of this, you know, accountability. Piece here is that I too have been through a lot of disappointments, particularly in the last 10 years. From a professional standpoint, from a personal standpoint, which has kept me in why is this happening to me? Why didn't it happen to everybody else? You know, can't get over it. And my wife was always saying, why can't you get past this? You know, you can do these things. You are a good person. You can get through these things. And so I see myself on that. So you're not alone. So there's some good things to work on. I appreciate you sharing some of the rituals you do to kind of get going on in.
Yeah, thank you both for sharing. We can't move forward until we take ownership of where we are and actually at a lot of levels release it. There's something to be said with releasing. It's kind of like when you have the closed fist about how you think it all should be. But when you let your hand open, things can come in. Things can't get into a closed fist, right? So here's a little just universal lesson that I've learned. The phrase that I use a lot, maybe it'll help all of you guys. If you reframe, so I often hear people say, why is this happening to me? The better question is, how is it happening for me? Right? So if we looked at the hard things that happen, because we all have them, and we ask the question, how is this working in my favor? It can allow you to find the good in any hard thing, right? And it gives you power to make a change. How many of you guys have experienced hard things? Yeah. Go read my Real Producers article from last month. I've got them all too. We all have them. It's just how we navigate it and honestly let it fuel. So when you are stuck in it, it's winning. When you take ownership and go, let me let this work in my favor, now you can move forward and you can actually, a lot of those hard things can give you fuel and power in your life. Actually, I'm not gonna get too off in the weeds. I'm gonna just share one of my beliefs. I don't usually do that, but I actually have been learning lots of things. And in the last couple of years, I came across a theory that we pre-select our life. We pre-select our hard things. And some people have easy lives with very little upside because they picked an easy life. And some people have very challenging lives with incredible upside, but we forget that we pre-picked it. So we get stuck. So what if you just thought about all the hard things you experienced and you said, I picked that. And there's something in it for me to learn. And what am I supposed to learn from this? What's the gift in it for me? Does that make sense?
Extremely profound, and it's so very true. If we focus on the positive, we all have journeys and happenings, but it's that.
Yeah, I could show, there's a meme somewhere that's like the tale of two brothers. They both had alcoholic dads. Have you guys seen it?
Mm-hmm.
One is like horrific life, alcoholism in prison. The other one takes that life experience and goes out and changes the world. Same story, different outcome.
I can't imagine how boring that challenges would be.
Yeah, there, but there's no upside. Just coast through life. It's all pretty easy.
That'd be boring.
So yeah, most people when I share that, if y'all want to get into that with me outside of class, I'll go down 47 bunny trails, cause I spend a lot of time studying these things, but, yeah. But, I think if I asked all of you. And you learn this, most of us would say, I wouldn't change the things. Because the outcome has changed who I am. So we actually embrace the hard stuff when we can see the benefit. Now we're in like a philosophy class.
There you go.
Welcome to Ignite. Yeah,
I just wanted to mention that I love when you share those things because, I think that some people are, like you said, the two brothers are given the same, start, like the same package, when they chose two different routes. But I don't think that's natural actually, I think it's more natural for the other brother who was less, successful, like human nature, for us to choose the victim complex. But I think that people like you who bring it to life so that they can learn it,
yeah,
it's really, really important so that everybody's, because we're supposed to help each other, we're supposed to be here for one another, but,
yeah, any hard things in the dark create shame,
Yeah.
right? If you guys study, like Brene Brown is fantastic on shame and vulnerability, she's an author. But those things kept in the dark have power over us. So the more authentic, like sharing, it gives you your power back and it also allows you to have community in that thing. I'm a big believer in that. Yeah. So it's good, right? Okay, look, we're on step 2. We're doing great. There's 6 hours of class today. Let me go through. We've got a couple of KW things, so if you're a guest today, just hang with us. I think there's some value in it anyway. Keller Williams, if you haven't figured this out, we're very big on mindset, right? We're big on mindset. We're also big on models and systems. And I will say this, I have learned to love models and systems because it actually allows you to evaluate what you're doing and figure out what's working and not working. So if you do things in a systematic way, like if you held an open house every single weekend and used the same checklist, after 10 or 12 weeks, you would know exactly what was working and what wasn't. The challenge is most of us are entrepreneurial. We just run around and wing it. So we can't ever actually figure out what's working and not working. So Keller is all about models and systems because they allow us to improve, right? So a couple of things, I'm just going to talk briefly about culture. So you guys will see here, culture for us is everything. Like you guys know, we talk about it all the time. Some of the things that embody our culture is the MVVVP, Red Day, which is our International Community Service Project, KW Cares, which provides grants for hardship and emergencies. We have KW Kids Can, we have a diversity, equity, and inclusion piece in our culture. And then there are cultural ambassadors regionally and nationally with our company. So I want to touch on MVVVP. So this is the MVVVP represents the mission, the vision, the values, the belief, and the perspective. Make a note here that when I teach Quantum Leap, you guys come. Quantum Leap is going to teach you how to write your own personal MVVVP. So like Tammy, it becomes the defining line to which we do the things we do and why we do them and the impact we want to have with our life, which I think pulls people in production because there's a greater impact, right? So the mission statement right here. To build careers worth having, businesses worth owning, lives worth living, experiences worth giving, and legacies worth leaving. And I'll just read this little part because I think it kind of shows how this compounds. So Ignite focuses on helping to build careers worth having. Everyone here is trying to build a career. That's step 1. And of course, when you build a great career, you then have a business worth owning, right? Many KW agents have built businesses worth owning, and they're living a great life that they envision for themselves. And that becomes the life worth living. And then many KW agents have grown where they're achieving fulfillment by providing experiences for other people as a result of the great business they built. And so they're laying the foundation for legacies worth leaving. So the goal of this is that we start with career worth having, but over time, that actually creates for you a legacy to leave behind. Okay, this is pronounced Y4C 2 T's. Y4C 2 T's. This is just W, you can see it there, it's an acronym. This is how we operate in our belief system. Win-win or no deal. Integrity is doing the right thing. Customers always come first. Commitment in all things. Communication, seek first to understand. Creativity is ideas before results. Teamwork, together everyone achieves more. Trust starts with honesty. Equity is opportunities for all. And success is results through people. And then these are a couple of the events and things that we do. I have a note here. I just want to pause here and say our goal is to have 100% transactional giving. So KW Cares is our national charity foundation. Transactional giving is when you have a transaction, if you can just give $5 out of your closing to this charity, it makes a massive impact around the world. And we just had an agent in this market center receive a $20,000 grant 60 days ago. He got an infection early last year and was hospitalized for months. And we had agents cover his business, but they told him he may never walk again. And he's one of our top producers. So having the ability to raise funds, but also have funding for our associates is so big. You never know when you'll need it, but every little bit counts. So I always like to talk about KW. Okay, I'm gonna keep going. These are just some stats. Okay, so I'll say this, whether you're KW or somewhere else. This section is about knowing your brand and understanding the validity or awards they've won or talking points that you can use to create validity for yourself. Okay, whether it's market share data, like these are just some KW things, top 500 franchises. We have top franchisee for veterans, top female friendly company, most profitable franchise, best use of AI by brokerage, most innovative podcast. This was all from 24. But there's lots of stuff out online. And then this is the training and coaching segment of this. So, let me go back one here. So question for you guys, if you're new or existing, is how does being a part of the company you're affiliated with or Keller Williams benefit you and your customers? So you kind of want to know that. We believe that real estate is hyper local, and we believe that your client are working with you because of you. And many will ask, who do you work for? What is that going to provide for me? Things like that. So suggestions here: offer services, use statistics to express your value, share statistics with agents from other companies, and use statistics for people that may want to get into the real estate industry. We had 25 people in this room last night. Didn't we? It was packed. I think we ran out of seats. Yeah. So you knowing and understanding the value of what you're doing is going to help you attract the right people into your world. This is training and coaching. The big things I wanted to touch on here is just attending local training. There's probably 2 to 3 classes a day in this room. We have tech training online every single day. So you have opportunity to grow yourself as an expert through local and regional trainings, national events. Anybody signed up for family reunion? Julie, Tammy? Yeah, I think we'll have about 30 of us. Deandra's going. That's in Atlanta and it's in February. It's the best lineup of speakers I've seen in probably 10 years. Jay Shetty will be there. Gary Vanderchuk, it's gonna be really good. And then Keller Williams University, you guys are in a Keller Williams University class right now. And then we have an international coaching company through MAPS. I'm not gonna go super in-depth into the tech. I'll say this, your technology. Okay, so let me ask this question first. How many of you guys would like to have a personal assistant that would stay connected with your clients and potential clients, remind you of deadlines, appointments, who to connect with each day, track the progress of every deal, and in real time, project your income at no additional cost to you? All of you? Okay, cool. Your technology does that. Does all that, right? So things you want to have in your tech, regardless of platform, but Command does this. A database of names and contact info. That is your book of business. Your database is your book of business, right? You need to have a goal tracker to make sure that you have set goals and you're tracking your goals, right? A task manager, so whether you're using your CRM or something like Google Keep, checklists, so you can keep your tasks organized. A marketing suite, a lot of people use Canva, right? So a marketing suite for newsletters and postcards and social posts. And then you want to be building a referral network of real estate agents outside of your local market. Everybody know about referrals? The last year that I sold real estate full time, I closed 37 transactions from agents outside of Central Kentucky. I tapped into the referral network and I went to the events and I built relationships and kind of started to build that brand recognition in this market. So it's really a valuable thing to be building in your CRM. And then from an app perspective, okay, so I'm going to show you guys 2 apps to make sure you have them both downloaded. You should have 2 apps in your phone. One is called KW Command. It's a red block with a white KW. That one is your mobile version of your desktop CRM. Everybody have it? You guys are good. Madison did a good job with orientation. You guys can see there, like it's tracking people's birthdays today, house anniversaries, your profit share. You can literally put a lead in it and it will be in your CRM. You can add people to your pipeline here. You can do anything. If you have new leads to claim, they're there too. So if your website has captured leads, it's going to show you that you have leads there to call. The other one is the consumer app. This one is called Keller Williams Realty. It's a white block with a red KW. So you want to download that app, assign yourself as the real estate agent. So when you go to share that app, anybody who opens it is already connected to you. Okay. These are just some general things. And then profit share is our gift. This is our passive income opportunity. I will probably be teaching a class on profit share at some point. But the cool thing about profit share is there's no financial risk, no legal risk, no down payment, no phone calls. Who benefits from profit share, by the way? You do? Who else?
Is that your beneficiary?
Yeah, that's the passive income stream. So you, your family, and your heirs, because it's willable. Also, your market center and the people that partner with us here, because we can help them grow. And then just associates and leadership as a whole benefit when we grow. I was thinking about something. We have a really small office in Louisville right now. I think they're like 65 agents. And they have they have a beautiful new space and have all this stuff that they want. And we always lead with revenue. So profit is lean because we're small. And my brain always goes, if we grow and we bring in the right people and we develop and grow their business, we can add all the resources. We can add more staff, we can add more tools, right? So growth helps everybody. Okay, I'm gonna keep going. KW communities are listed here in your book. You guys can skip that section on Keller X and some of that other stuff. Those are some of the pages that have changed. But I do wanna talk about the communities. Just make a note in your book to go to thrive.kw.com, thrive.kw.com. And there's a communities drop down, because there's 8 here, but there's like 40 total. So we have, commercial land, luxury, military, young professionals, all these. We have all the inclusion groups like Lady Leaders, Black Realtor Network, Spanish Speaking Network, FISPA, Farsi, Clarity, there's all that. So these are why I'm mentioning these, is this is another opportunity to connect and send referrals and create community. All right, I want to get into this. This is about your goals. So you guys turn to page, I'm not sure what page.
1.15.
1.15. 1.15. So we're gonna talk about your goals. So we're gonna do a visualization exercise. How uncomfortable can we get today? So much fun. Okay, so what I want you to write on that top line. I want you to write the date for 1 year from now. So 1/20/27. 1/20/27. And I'm gonna read these bullets. And when we get done, I'm gonna ask you some questions about them, but I want you to think about yourself a year from now. Okay? So 1 year from now, on January 20th, 2027, your business is thriving and your life is everything you've dreamed of. Your customers rave about the experience and the value you provide and think of you whenever they have a real estate need. Your family and friends are so proud of your success and are consistently referring business your way. You are helping others live their dream of owning a home because you are focused on helping them get what they desire. You are building the foundation and momentum for your entire career and gaining relationships and experiences and the income that you desire. You are the top agent in your market center or the rookie of the year if you're new. You're poised to hire a part-time assistant to handle your 80% while you take care of the 20% that grows your business. And you are on the pathway to blank. So I want you guys to just write a couple of things there at the bottom that you envision for yourself 1 year from now. Gonna do about 30 more seconds. Right, so what I would love to do is I'm just gonna ask you guys a couple more questions here. So I guess let's just start with, if all of that were happening, how would you feel? How would you guys feel? Feel good? Yeah, everybody feel good? How many of you guys are gonna do the work, to make all of that happen? Yeah? What would potentially get in our way? What could get in our way? Yourself. You are the only limit in your life. I mean, you may have other obstacles. I'm not saying it's gonna be easy. But I truly believe anything we set our mind to, if you do the work, you can accomplish it. So how do we keep these things like front of mind? How do we keep that, like, whether it's the bullet point list here or it's the things you wrote at the bottom? How do we keep those your daily reality so you're moving in that direction?
Write it down, put it on the back.
Put on your bathroom mirror. Yeah, when I started reading these, I'll share a little story. I told you guys like 2014 and 2015 were really hard years for me. And I came into that time I grew up believing that self-love was not healthy. That's just how I was raised, right? And so I was in a lot of therapy, and she was teaching me how to acknowledge my feelings, process how I felt, and like it was okay to be sad, and it's okay to be like, that's how rudimentary things were at that time. And my therapist told me to go out and buy a book, and the book is called You Are a Badass, and it's by Jen Sincero. So I go out and I buy this book, and I'm reading it. How many of you guys have read the book? Okay. It's been out for a long time. It must have been a thing.
Whole series.
Yeah. So I read that book, and it's all about like kind of like boosting your self-worth and your self-image. And each chapter ended with an affirmation like this. And I read those and I felt like bad reading them. That's how unhealthy my mind was. It was like, this is not healthy. But there were there were 10 or 12 chapters, and there were a couple that I really liked, and I thought I could believe that for myself. That one, like, I could believe that to be true. So I did what you said. I got out Post-it notes. I wrote every affirmation from every chapter in all these colored Post-it notes, and I stuck them all over my bathroom mirror. And I would stand there every day and I would read them, because what it started as is like, I'm not qualified, or I don't believe this to be true. And then the more you say and read it, you start to get belief. And then subconsciously, you start to do things that support those beliefs. And you look up and you are all of it. Pretty cool. So go study affirmations. But that's a good place to start, that book. But these are essentially affirmations. So you could get up every single day and say an affirmation that is something you choose to be true for you, that you're growing into. And your mind will believe that it's true, and it will seek evidence to support it. That's how it works. That's neurolinguistic programming if you're interested in that kind of stuff. But okay, let's talk about some other things. So you guys turn the page. You should see this, Your Big Light. And So what we're gonna do is we're gonna now expand your thinking past a year. I want you to think big here, and I want you to quiet all your limiting beliefs, because they don't exist anymore. We have them, but we don't listen to them anymore. And, so you guys are on page 1.16, right? This one? So I want you to think about past a year, what are you doing for the people you care about? What charities would you support? How would you make the lives of yourself and everyone better? And so we're gonna take a few minutes and you're gonna write in the boxes, people and projects that you care most deeply about. And an amount that you would like to spend on each. So for example, if one of yours was you wanted to pay for both of your children's college tuition, that's not on there, pay for your college tuition or pay off your home or car, put pay for my kids' college tuition and how much that's gonna cost you. How much will it cost you to, they've got donate 5,000 there, pay off your mortgage. Wish my mortgage was 18,000. But I want you to think of all the big things you want to accomplish and put a dollar amount on them. No limits. Another way to frame this is, if I handed you $1 million today, what would you do with it? Where would you spend it? About a minute left. Okay. Anybody have any ahas or observations from that activity that you'd be willing to share? Yes.
So I did all this when I first started my career. And it's interesting because you always think there's a new way, like there's a different strategy or a different course you can learn, but it's come down to just do the basics.
Do the basics, yeah. Yeah, our whole motto, you guys probably heard me say this, our whole motto with our team is to do less better this year. Be brilliant at the basics. It's interesting because statistically, they study real estate agents' businesses, and most agents have 3 to 4 sources of business that they get, and it creates success. So in coaching agents, I sit down and I do consulting meeting, and when they're struggling, I say, so how are you finding business? And they say, I bought this widget, this lead source, this, like all the things. And so then I go, okay, what were you doing when you had your best year ever? And almost 100% of the time, it's database, it's like the stuff we're teaching in here. They're doing the basics and they're just doing them really well. And then we get off in the weeds and we stop doing the things that work. Yeah.
And then another thing is about the automation. So what I used to do is, so we were in a group of all the new agents. And so we would have a group text and you find a person and you connect it to, and literally every morning at 4:30 AM, we get on the phone, we don't say hello, we call one another and we say our affirmation, and then we hang up.
That's
Literally, like,
cool.
take a minute,
There you go.
That's cool.
and I did it for years.
So you guys will be asked at some point in this training to find an accountability partner. You wanna do 4:30, I'm up and maybe Casey's up, but otherwise, whatever time, like, I think speaking it makes it more real, right? Anybody else have an observation from putting your goals and the financial dollar amount to them? Okay, so here's what I'll say. Even things you love to do or jobs you love to do, you're gonna have moments of time where you're gonna struggle with motivation. And what we know to be true is very few people are motivated by money. We're motivated by the things that money can do for us or the experiences they can create. So we're gonna talk a lot in all the sessions of Ignite about all the ins and outs of finding business, but ultimately, the goal of that is to make that, whatever's on your page, your reality. Okay, so you guys flip. Somebody read this for me.
To achieve success, you need motivation and inspiration for doing it, your big why.
You need your big why. So to achieve success, you need motivation and inspiration for doing it. So we're gonna talk a lot about success and unlimiting success and all of that, yet each person has to know why they're doing it. And that's different for each of us, right? So you never wanna limit yourself, and we're always gonna encourage you to think really big. Because big goals create big growth. And even if you fall a little short of the goal, you'll become more than you had if you'd set a really small one. Right? Okay. Let's see. Anyone can achieve the goals set in the course, not everyone will. The journey requires discipline and a commitment to follow model systems and your schedule every day. It requires a passion towards something bigger than the task at hand, which is your big why. Those are the things you wrote on your sheet. And having a big why built around your passion and then following the models will get you to big success. Once you have your why, the how doesn't matter. We say that a lot. When the why is big enough, how you get there doesn't matter. It will appear. Because you'll be willing to do whatever it takes to get to the thing that's important to you, right? What I find most often is agents don't have clarity on the goal. So there's not really any reason to get uncomfortable or try new things because we don't even really know what we want. So we can't motivate you to do the things if you don't know what you want, right? So you guys might want to think on that one more outside. This is about commission dollars. I'm just gonna show you here where your commission dollars go. Part of the commission at a closing is gonna go to the other agent. Part of it is gonna go to your market center. Part of it is gonna be your business expenses. Part of it's gonna be your taxes, and then you have your take home. Which looks like that. Most agents though get a commission and they spend it all. So it's really important as you're establishing your business or even growing it more than where it's at, that you start to really think about how much am I setting aside for taxes? Because we want to make sure you don't get in a bind at tax season, right? Let's see. So this sheet right here, this should be your next page. This is set up as an economic model. A portion of it, we did this at team meeting last week. I changed these numbers. I put up a net income goal of $100,000 because I believe that's absolutely achievable to any brand new agent. You can earn 6 figures in this business your first year. Here we have our cap and royalty, so I have 15 in there. I put 5,000 for business expenses. So line D, your total gross income when you add all of that together is about $120,000. Line E is the average gross commission in this market. $10,000. So essentially, if I wanna make $120,000 a year. I'm paying 5,000 to my business expenses, 15,000 to my company cap and royalty. And to net 100 grand, I need to sell 12 houses. One a month. That's doable, right? That's so doable. One a month. Sell a house a month. Everybody got those numbers down? Okay. If you have a different goal. And you want to write some different numbers, you can write them out to the side, right? But if you wanted to do double that, you would just double those numbers, right? But that is generally how you would break down the amount of money you wanna make, plus your expenses. Divide it by the average gross commission income, tells you exactly how many transactions you need to sell. That's important to know. Cause now we know where we're going. Now we know, now we can build activities like tomorrow. Jackie's gonna walk you through the next part of Ignite, but you need to know kind of your transaction goal to ensure you know the pathway. All right. Before we do the daily success system, we have about 10 minutes. Anybody have ahas or observations from the totality of class today?
I think one of the ahas for me was limited thinking, that really hit me about what did you call them?
Limiting beliefs. Limiting beliefs.
Yes, limiting beliefs. It really hit me because all of a sudden I was thinking, what have I got a limiting belief about them to change? And I think that colored almost everything. Wow, can I sell house a month? Yes.
Yeah,
But a limiting belief would say,
that's right.
so yeah, it's not.
Anybody have a limiting belief when I said 12, one a month? It's okay if you did, because remember, we can't control the first thought. But you can control the second thought. So your limiting beliefs are gonna keep coming. It's how you reframe them that gives you your power. Yeah. Why do you guys think we spent so much time on like all the feely stuff today? I feel like it was a lot of feely stuff.
The feeling stuff is what initially like stops you from doing what you need to do. For me, anyway, I would say.
Most of us make decisions on emotion.
Yeah.
That's right. We say logic makes you think, emotion makes you act.
And complacency is rampant. I mean, it's just so easy to become lazy. Lazy to learn habit. And complacency is as well, and so you have to push yourself out of the comfort zone. I know that's what's happened with me. It's a few years of working diligently and bad habits. I mean, I have great habits to some degree, but not with work's the one place where I'm really true.
Well, and sometimes we feed our limiting beliefs to stay comfortable. And honestly, guys, in our industry, it's rampant. Like you would be surprised how many times I've said, we need to script and role play a little bit every day. And then the agents will get up, they'll go out of the class and they'll walk around and go, do you script and role play? Do you script and role play? Do you script and role play? And they seek validation to not do the thing. We look for reasons not to do it versus why don't we go ask the number one agent or the top team in our broker, go ask Sheridan Sims how he feels about scripts and role play. But we don't ask that person. We ask the 80% not selling. So who you surround yourself with matters. You guys are gonna be an amazing little core of our market center, and you have permission when you hear people speak with limiting beliefs to challenge it in a loving way. What if you could do that? Right? Anybody else have an aha? Yes.
I think I mean, I'm a new agent, so I think something that stood out to me is it's not hard to do what I know I need to do. Like if I set it on my calendar, if I just kind of force myself to do the things, the success will come. And it's just those little things. I feel like just having, like when you're starting out, you have an idea of, oh, I need to do this and this and this. And the goals seem so out of reach, but it's really just breaking it down into little things that I know I need to do. So.
Yeah, keep it simple. Success is simple, not easy. It's simple because it is simple. What's not easy is wrangling yourself to do the most important things. So, okay, let's talk a little bit about your daily success system. We talked about it at the beginning, but this is your work. And I don't think we have homework today. I think Jackie, ooh, you probably are supposed to do this today. Let me just check it. Okay, I think you are supposed to start this today. I'm gonna tell you this, it wouldn't hurt you to start it today. Talking to more people is never gonna hurt your business, so, the daily success system requires that you talk to people every day. You're gonna have conversations, a lot of conversations around care and gratitude, okay? You're gonna check in with people, you're gonna offer value and assistance. And notice that I didn't say, you're gonna call and say, who you know thinking of buying or selling real estate. We're always gonna come from contribution, always gonna come from value and assistance. Because you get more energy from that and you're gonna have more confidence when you talk to people in a relational way, right? So TCPA, I need to touch on this, it is real. TCPA is a regulation nationally, so don't call people that are on the do not call list unless you know them personally and you have permission. Ignite is all about calling people you know. So you're not gonna be cold calling in this class, we're gonna be just deepening relationships with people we know. Let's see, just remember that one. Here are some purposeful and beneficial conversations. This is, I'm not sure what page this is. But these 3 statements, did you find what you're looking for? Please look around and help me know if I can help. And are you looking to get blank for blank? These are the top 3 sales conversations, like I think across all industries. They're things that service people use in their vocabulary. So the recommendation is figure out ways to use these phrases in your conversation in correlation with your personal knowledge, your validation of what we've already shared. And these will help you stay more customer oriented, customer service oriented. Your sphere, this is who you're going to be calling. These are people that you know, right? These are people you know or have a relationship with. We call them the sphere of influence or the SOI. Your contacts in your cell phone are the best place to start. And when you're calling and doing those 10 conversations, if you're new to the industry, you want to call and ask for all their contact information. Name, phone number, email, mailing address, and birthday. And then ask, if they know anybody that would be buying or selling this year. I want to show you this real quick. Keep this snapshot in your brain. This is the life cycle of a lead and the likelihood to move. On average, people move every 7 to 10 years. So most real estate agents try to get people right here. And if they're not there, we forget about them. But the reality is, as soon as somebody moves, that's where you start developing a relationship. And you want to stay in relationship and building all the way up to the next move. So how long do we need to be in relationship with people? 10. Could be 10 years. That's why you need a systematic approach through your CRM and some of the other things to stay top of mind. Okay, this is your script for the day. It's the Ford script. And that is in the back of your binder. It is, so if you go to the very back of your binder, the Ford script. C4. This is one of the most powerful conversations you can have in just touching base with people. And so we're not gonna have time to read through it because of team meeting. Look at all those people waiting for us. You guys can stick around for team meeting. We have an amazing panel today. But the Ford script is basically checking in and asking people, one of the four or all of the four. How's your family? How's work going? Are you doing anything fun this year? And did you ever pursue the blank dream? Last time you talked, you said you were gonna finish your college degree. How's that going? So that's the Ford script. When you guys do your scripts, you want to really focus on following them word for word until you internalize them, and then you can make some pivots. But if you read these scripts word for word, they're written in a way to get an appointment, a referral, or a piece of business. They're like literally written with specific words in specific places for a specific outcome. So you don't want to get too far off the path. That's all, guys.
Where were the 10, the items we're supposed to do, our 10 calls, 10?
Yeah, that's your
Is that in the book?
Is that in the book? I couldn't say that. Daily success.
success system.
The only thing that I cannot, okay.
Maybe it doesn't start until tomorrow. Hold on, let me look in section 2, because Jackie said she was gonna start that.
It's on 20.
What is it?
It's on, like, well.
2.12.
Okay, so it is
It
actually.
is actually gonna start
Perfect.
tomorrow. Huh?
Okay,
That's section 2, class 2.
no, is it on each section?
It should be.
Okay,
Yeah.
there it is.
Yeah, 2. 2 is our second section, right?
Yeah.
So tomorrow she'll go more in depth with that, and if you wanna get, a lot of you guys are doing the client giveaway today, you'll probably get your 10 contacts in our client giveaway. Yeah.
And just for me,
Yes,
when is training? Is it every day?
every day,
Okay.
9 to 11ish, and then we'll live stream it on YouTube as well, but it's better in person.
So we just go to YouTube, look for the KW YouTube channel,
KW Commonwealth.
KW Commonwealth YouTube channel. Thank you, Tara.
You're welcome. Y'all stick around and stay around for teaching.
Thank you, that was.
You're welcome. You're coming.
Next week.
It might just be you at 12.
Yeah, and that's me.
9 o'clock.
Okay, perfect. Tell them that.
Thank you.
Yes, so I'm gonna try to make the classes that I can in person, I know this is all streamed online. I usually I open it at 11, yeah, so I may not be able to watch it live. But I still get credit for watching.
Yeah, just let, we normally have, yes. We didn't have that, but sign a sheet and then you can just out it off.
Nice to meet you.
What you feel like, okay, yeah, that's good.
Actually, I just got started.
Was it good?
I enjoyed it.
Good.
Be taking my test probably in March.
Okay.
But I will be. Bill. It's contrary to what a lot of people are looking for today.
But. Also, like in the beginning. I own the speaker from so. I've got a little bit better, just a couple of contract classes I've done, but I